Hello my friends. Now, we want something special to play this Christmas, do we not? This song we're going to do, everyone knows it, all over the world, beautiful song, written by John Lennon of course, played by the Beatles. We're going to play two guitar parts in one, because we're dead cool and we're able to do that by watching this channel. Before we do that, click the blue link below and get your paperwork, the idiot proof paperwork. It's unique to the channel, it's all mine. So you can follow along with that. Alright, I'll give you a quick overview of the song with the bits in now and while you're downloading. Alright, so you can listen to me singing it or having a bash at it while you're downloading. Alright, so here we go. In My Life by the Beatles. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life I've loved them all, but I've etc, etc. That's all you need to know to play the whole song. All you need to do after that is sing the other lyrics that go with those particular verses. Now when you listen to that, you can hear that I was playing the introduction. What's that? It's this bit. Okay, that's the bit that George Harrison played. John Lennon, he would have played this bit. Now before people start getting on their high horse and saying, he did it in the key of A, yes he did. I can't sing it in the key of A now, it's too high. If you want to play in the key of A, all you do is you put this capo one there like that. If you want to play along with Mr. Lennon and the Beatles, and you'll do this, exactly the same as I'm showing you now, with a capo one. But if you're a bloke like me, getting on in years, your voice gets a bit lower, so you have to do it lower. If you happen to be Doris, however, that lives locally and likes to get up and sing a tune now and again, but it's too low for Doris, you can always put the capo up. Okay, so it's movable. I'm going to do it without the capo, alright? So, how do we play the intro and the rhythm guitar at the same time? Well, it's very easy if you look at remember to download the paperwork that's below, the idiot proof paperwork below on the blue link, and you can follow along as I'm telling you what to do. So, first chord you're going to play is a G. Now you must play your G like this, okay? There's no other way of doing it, you must do it like this. Alright, thank you. Yeah. Alright, there's our G. Okay, keep this finger free. Now you're gonna do the strum the wrong way around. Okay, I'll explain why in a minute. You're gonna come up from the second string where the melody note lives, and then down on the 6, and then up on the 1, and then down on the 6. Now when I say up on the 2 and down on the 6, up on the 1, down on the 6, that doesn't mean to say you can't strike the strings that are in between them here. I'm just emphasizing those notes, okay? So when you look at your paperwork and it says 2, 6, 1, 6, don't worry if you catch the strings in between. That's the important bit. You want to. That's your other guitar if you like. Okay, that's the sound we're looking for. So let's look at it in a bit more detail. Up on the 2, down on the 6, up on the 1, down on the 6. And when I say down on the 6, I mean give it a few more strings as well. Da, da. What happens after that? We get rid of our little finger. We don't need him at the moment, or her. Let's not be controversial. We're going to come up 3 times from the second string now. And now you're going to put your first finger on the second string at the 1st fret. And then you're going to put your little finger on the second string at the 3rd fret. Okay, so we've got this. Can you see that okay from this angle? I'll do it again. There's our little finger down there. Now as I'm striking those second strings coming up with upstrokes, the arrows on your paperwork will indicate which way your pluck goes. I'm actually holding this first string here with these spare fingers, so I can do this. So if I hit that string, I can't hear it. If I didn't do that, I might hear this, which I don't want. So little subtle things like that make all the difference. I'll play it again. See the way I'm catching that one string there? So, and now I'm going to count the rhythm, the beats to it. 1. Now the 1 is an upstroke, remember, not a down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the and after the 4, we must jump to a D and we do an upstroke on the first string. I'll play that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. What happens after that? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Don't play the and after that 4. I'll explain why in a second. Let's play that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. On the and that follows the 4, we're going to be using that little half a beat with nothing going on to rearrange our fingers again to play the intro again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and there are. And on the 4 and of the second time round, that's where our lyric starts. There are. Right, let's do that again, okay? Slowly. Hope you can see this. I've got the microphone tucked away in the side, so I've got to make sure I don't give it a clout. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Change back. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and there are. And then our song begins. So all that stuff that I've just done covers your page 1 if you're looking at this now. I've got it on my machine. Now look at page 2. There's only 2 pages to look at. You will see a breakdown of the rest of the chords that are in this song. The first 2 lines, you've got G, D, E minor and G 7th, and then under that you've got a C, C minor and G. Alright, so let's have a look at our chords. G, D, E minor, G 7th. Now you will know G 7th like this, but it's great, and I've added this on the diagram, it's great to put your little finger, can you see that there? Little finger on the 4th string of the 3rd fret. Gives a bit more meat to it. Like, it's optional, but if you don't have to do it with that little finger, but if you do it, it can sound pretty cool. Okay, and I've written the beats underneath, so you've got like, I'll just concentrate on the beats for now. Forget about the main rhythm. Our rhythm is normal now, by the way. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do that again. That was our first line of the song. There are places I remember all my. Second line, we go to a C. 1, 2 to a C minor. Now you've got to jump to a chord some of you may have difficulty with. How do we play a C minor? It's a bar at the 3rd fret, and these 3 fingers here, they resemble an A minor shape. Not to be confused with this shape. They come down here. Now, the best way to think of this is, there's your C. We're going to go from a C to a C minor. These 3 fingers here, try and keep them grouped like this. And as you come to the 3rd fret, this finger will shoot up, and these 3 that were there will move down. And just practice. You can do this while you're watching TV without driving people nuts. 1, and eventually, when you come to play it, you'll get it. All right. So you've got C, C minor, and then back to G. All right. So I'll give you the main beats again. We'll worry about the upstrokes and the main rhythm in a sec. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some for. You'll notice that G stayed there. All right. Now with the upstrokes, what does that mean? Just hit the upstrokes after the downs. Now here's a little cheat, a little trick, and every guitar player does this. They don't know they're doing it half the time. When you're changing from one chord to another, the upstroke after the last stroke you're on, so say for example we're going from a G to a D. 1 and 2 and, you know, the fingers are off when you're hitting it most of the time, particularly in fast songs. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's how people get from one shape to another. Now people say musically it's wrong. Well, technically that would be correct. It is wrong, but unfortunately that's just the way it is. When you're playing a 6-string guitar, it's not arranged, this piece, to play classically where the open strings are built into the piece. You've got no choice sometimes but to take all your fingers off and hit the strings at this, you know, when they're open. Otherwise you'll have a big hole in the music. That's just the way it is. Books don't tell you that. I'm telling you that now because you will have to do it. If you don't, it'll sound crap. That's the only word I can use. I'm being polite because it's early. All right, let's do it again. You can't hear that, come on. You can't tell that that's what's going on. You know, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And when you've got your voice over the top, you know, you won't notice it. Now, if you don't believe me, you listen to some songs, quick, faster songs, or even songs at that pace, preferably ones with one guitar, and press your little cogwheel on YouTube and slow it down to about 50%. And you'll hear this. It just happens. You can't help it. It just does. Now you don't want to do this. You know, you've got to be subtle about it. You know, but it's there, and it's the way professionals change chords, whether they know they're doing it or not. All right. So let's go over the verse again. G, D, E minor, G7, C, C minor, G. Second verse, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these. Now we're into the sort of middle bit of the song. Now these chords, you're going to do one bar on each of them. What does that mean? Well, instead of breaking the bar up, 1 and 2 and then change from chords, you're going to do the whole count of 4 on each of these chords that I'm about to tell you. E minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and E minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G. E minor again. A, C minor, G. Now, you're looking at your paperwork now, right? You'll look at it and you'll say E minor, great. C, great. I've written 1, 2, 3, 4 under the E minor, and I've written 1, 2, 3, 4 under the C. Under the F, I've not written it, and under the G, I've not written it. Why is that? Because I'm not perfect and I forgot. It's the only reason. All right, so you just play 1, 2, 1, you know, 4 beats in each of those 2 chords. You've got an E minor with the 1, 2, 3, 4 written underneath. You've got the A with the 1, 2, 3, 4 written underneath. The C minor at the 3rd fret, 1, 2, 3, 4 written underneath. And then finally, the last shape, you've got G, again with nothing written underneath, because once again, I forgot, but it is 4 beats. Now, there's an important thing about that last one. When you do the very last chord of the middle section, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, do not play an upstroke, because we're going to be readying ourselves to play the intro again. So it's going to go like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ready, and we just do the introduction once. So let's go through it again. I'll just do the middle section for you. All these places, E minor, C, F, with lovers and friends, G, I still can recall E minor, my dead and some A are living, C minor in my life, G and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But I've all these friends and lovers, and so it goes on. Now you'll do all that again and again. Incidentally, when the little harpsichord comes in and plays that wonderful solo by George Martin, we're not going to do that clearly. But if you had somebody that could play that part, you would just play the same chords as a verse. Alright? Chordally, it's exactly the same. So there's no surprises, doesn't move off anywhere else. But let's assume we've played it all, we've done all the bits and pieces, and we've done the, I'll play the very last middle again, because I want to show you how this thing ends. Places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall, some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love you more. 1 and 2 and 3. In my life, that's a C minor. I love you. What happens after that? The intro. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And end on a G. You can end on that G or that G or whatever. Alright. Now I'll play it again. Slowly. Alright. I would have played it to the track, but I can't because I get the it's all copyright stuff and all that crap. So I can't demonstrate with the track anymore, unfortunately. So it's just the way it is, isn't it? I was going to try to think of something clever to say, but I couldn't. It's just the way it is. So let me play it again for you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. There are places D, E minor, G7, C, C minor, G. Second half of the verse. So forever, not for better. G7, C, and I've got C minor, G. So rhythmic middle. All these places have C moments. F with lovers and friends. G. I still can recall E minor. Some are dead and some A are living. C minor, my life. G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Intro. Once. 1 and 2. But I've. And when you're going into the verse, the forehand, that's where the verse starts. But I've 1 and 2 and 3. But I've all these. Okay, so it only does the intro twice. It only does the intro twice at the head of the song. Every other time you hear it, it's just the one round. Okay, so that makes it easy to get into the verses. Excuse me. The only chord that you'll find problematic is the C minor at the 3rd fret and the F. You could simplify your F by putting, one finger across 2 strings and doing this. But it means you can't play the bass note. You must never play the bass note open when you're playing an abbreviated F like this. Some people can actually get their thumb over the top and do that, as Jimi Hendrix does, and a lot of those 60s players do. But other than that, there's no easy way of doing it. I'm going to be doing some abbreviated C, F and G in the next lesson. I'm going to look at folk music, and when I say folk, I mean Bob Dylan, Donovan, John Lennon, using the C, F and G but played slightly differently. When you hear it, you'll know why it's a really cool way of playing those chords. I'll give you a little quick example before I bugger off and finish up putting up my tree. Right, so let's assume we were going to do a Donovan song. I like Donovan, he's great. Coincidentally, it was Donovan that taught John Lennon how to do guitar picking, So he used to do things like this. Do that again. In the chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, I long to be in the warm hold of your love and mine, to feel you all around me and to take my hand along the sand. But I may as well try and catch the wind. You know, that type of thing. And then of course Dylan did his how many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? The answer, my friend, etc. And of course John Lennon, who was a big fan of Bob Dylan, he thought, well, I'm going to have some of that. So he did things like here I stand, head in hand, turn my face to the wall. If he's gone, I can't go on, feeling 2 foot small. And so it went on and it went on. Now remember, these guys, you know, they're writing great songs. A song is not a chord progression. We can all use those chords and those patterns. It's the melody and the lyric that you make over the top of those that is the song. The chords belong to everybody, okay? And the chord sequences belong to everybody, all right? So that's just what they just borrow the chord sequences, and then you just write another tune over the top and then put a lyric to it. You know, always remember, a song, it's not the guitar player, it's not the bass player, it doesn't matter how good they are, it's not the drummer, it's not the orchestra. The song is the tune, top line melody as they call it, just the tune, and the lyric. If it's just a tune on its own, it's just a little instrumental. If it's just a lyric on its own, it's a poem. It becomes a song when you put the tune and the lyric together. And some of the greatest songs that have ever been written have been written by people that can hardly play a note on an instrument, but they have this beautiful ability to write fantastic melodies. And even when you listen to orchestral arrangements of, you know, the greats, you know, whether it's Beethoven, Bach, all these other things, what makes them great is the tune, all right? All the other stuff is irrelevant. It's the thing that the milkman or your Amazon delivery driver is humming when he's walking up your path to deliver your parcel just before it gets pinched, all right? That's the bit that's important, the melody. Right, so it's been a while since I've seen you. Thank you for being patient with me. I hope you've enjoyed some of the re-uploads I've been doing. I've been doing them for a reason, and that's because, for example, last month I had another 7,000 new subscribers to the channel, which is, it's really good, so thank you very much for that. And I wanted people to hear some of the ones that I put up initially during the lockdown thing, when I didn't really have any subscribers, because I was just doing it for a bit of fun and something to do. So I thought, well, I don't want those to go away. So I've been, you know, putting those up while I've been working on theatre shows. And of course I've had my gigs that I did a couple of weeks ago. Now they're all done now. So I'm going to be spending a lot more time with you, putting a lot of new stuff up, all right? So I may be back with you tomorrow. One other thing I wanted to ask you while I've got you here is, would you be interested in me doing, you know, like a live stream thing, whereby you can ask me questions, maybe over Christmas, you know? You know, and anything you want to ask me, you can do it, and we can do it, you know, live over the internet or whatever. Anyway, have a think about that and tell us what you think. In the meantime, what should we do next? Let me think. I think I'll do a lesson on that Donovan-y stuff and the folky stuff, because a lot of my older viewers will be interested in that. And don't forget, subscription to a channel doesn't mean you pay any money. It's all free, as are all my downloads and everything like that. All right, so I'll love you and leave you. Thank you for being patient with me, and I shall see you next time. All right, enjoy this one. It's a great one. Play it over Christmas. Everyone knows what it is. It's a classic. Do it. All right. See you later. Bye bye.